This is a recap of the Grand Rapids City Council meeting held today, Monday, August 28th, 2023. First off, we had a proclamation to start the meeting out. A proclamation was to summarize it more or less, to celebrate the Veteran Crisis Response Team in town that has trained mental health practitioners who come to the aid of veterans and veterans' families in need. And so we wanted to honor them and to spread the word that those services are available in our community, and we're very grateful for those and for the work that those people do. With that, we moved on to the rest of the meeting. We had a fairly lengthy consent agenda and a fairly lengthy regular agenda as well. We hired a new police officer this evening that completes our all our positions as the dominoes fell. First, we hired a chief, and then his replacement as the captain, and then the captain's replacement, all the way on down. And so now we've hired a patrol officer, Samuel Hussman, and we are back at full strength as soon as he comes on board. We approved the retirement of Bob Cahill from the position of director of golf, and we approved a new job description, authorized advertising and interviewing, and appointed a city council member to the hiring committee. And so we want to thank Bob for his 35 years of service to the city. That those years are not done. He will be on board until March 31st, but we want to jump on this process so we can have his replacement, and the replacement can confer and talk with Bob in the time from the time of the hiring until when Bob is actually done. After that, we took a look at an item that was tabled from our last meeting, and that is a recommendation from the Planning Commission amending the zoning map from R1 to R4. We had a private residence come forward, went through the legal process of asking to rezone their land, and we had to make a legal decision, not whether we would like that to be changed there, but is it legally defensible to stop that? And the council voted in favor of that rezoning this evening. After that, we donated 6 cemetery plots to Grand Itasca Clinic and Hospital. And those cemetery plots are going to be used for those parents who've had their child miscarriages. And so this gives those parents a place to honor their child that they lost through the miscarriage. And I know a number of people very closely who have gone through that process, and I'm glad that we can play our part, and thank Grand Itasca for doing that, and I'm glad that we can help them. We then entered into an agreement with Grand Rapids GM for EV charging sites. So people who have electric cars, Grand Rapids GM had access to some of their parent company's funds available for this. They've spent a significant amount or are donating a really significant amount of money to have EV charging sites at 4 sites in Grand Rapids. One will be at the IRA Civic Center, one will be at Central School, one will be at the library, and one will be at the Chamber of Commerce. And then we had a separate motion to enter into an agreement with the Chamber to have one there. So it's a very generous donation from Grand Rapids GM. And with the increase of electric vehicles, especially in the metro areas, and as those people are looking for routes to travel on their vacations, to have access to those, in addition to what we already have in town, I believe we already have at least 3, makes it possible for people who are planning vacations to consider Grand Rapids as either a destination or a route towards their destination. Then we conducted a public hearing approving a street reconstruction plan and authorized the issuance of general obligation street reconstruction bonds. This plan was for, generally speaking, for what would be called the Sylvan Bay project that happened this summer, the area between 4th Street Southwest and the river. That project is not quite done yet, but it's getting closer. And tonight we talked about paying for those, and we agreed to issue and provide for issuance and sale of general obligation utility revenue bonds in the amount of $4,755,000 over a 15-year period. We also, as always, our financial consultants, Ehlers, were here, and they reviewed our existing debt for looking for refunding opportunities, or can we buy down our debt by reselling it? And this time we can't, but we're very comfortable entering into this amount of debt, as we have debt falling off, and we have a good credit rating that will go to be relooked at the time that in October when this takes place. But we also entered into a credit enhancement program agreement with the Minnesota Public Facilities Authority. This allows us to use the state's AAA bonding, and there's a slight cost to it, but the amount of interest that we can save by using their AAA bonding is very worthwhile. So this was a project that was a collaboration between the city and the Public Utilities Commission, and we thank them for their willingness to work with us and provide a combined bonding, which allows for increased savings for both organizations. So that was nice to see, and it's nice to see that we have the opportunity to partner with the state to use their AAA rating as well. With that, we meet again in 2 weeks on September 11th at 5 o'clock, and enjoy the last nice days of summer. It's supposed to be getting nice this week. We'll see you then.